All right, Quadabble here. We're doing another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is actually a follow-up on yesterday's video. Actually, what I seen was I said 1 to 5, 1 to 6, and then when I went back and tested it some more, it seemed like it failed a little more often. So I went out and I did a little modification. It's the same team, but at that point in time, my quick sand grasp, I got it up to 100% chance. But then I thought, oh, well, if I put those other two books in it with Renegade helping, then there'd be less of an opportunity for him to use his A1, which was 50, but I ended up putting it took all four books. As you can see, this one was already completed too. It took all four books to get that last level 7. So this guy's now fully booked, which was different than before. And then as far as the build on the rest of the champions, Renegade is right over here. There she is. And I can show you what her build is. None of these I really went out and modified the armor or nothing. I really like to just kind of recycle. And just like Painkeeper, Renegade has a really cool ability where she can take the cooldown of any 2 turns. Doesn't affect this champion or other champions with a skill. This champion will receive damage equal to 30% of the max HP. This will happen even if this kills this champion. So the way this works out is she only has to put it on the once. But you can see I put 2 books. I fully booked her, which wasn't necessary. But she doesn't put any other debuffs on. This one I turned this off. So I shouldn't have done this. But like a 75% chance. And stuff, but it's all random stuff. So I turned that off. Of course, she never gets back around, I think, to use this ability. She just basically uses this ability and then dies, is how it happens. And then her masteries are Diddly Squat, Vergus, Diddly Squat, Skills. I didn't put any books into this guy. It's just his passive that makes this even possible. And then his artifacts, I had to beef him up really high to be able to heal himself. And then his defense is really high. You can see almost 5,000, 4,600. So that's his build. And then let's see here. Who's the other people on this? I told you about him, that he's in my clan boss team, so I can't make any changes to him. I like his speed. He's in my nightmare team. I'm working on a 1 key for all affinities, and right now I'm just short on spirit so far. I'm assuming magic I will just slaughter because I've got 3 red champions. I've already fought red twice, knocked it out of the park. And this team also doubles on my brutal team because I end up using 2 keys for Ultra Nightmare, 1 key for Nightmare, and 1 key for Brutal. And I've gotten as much as 50 million on Brutal. So it's nice when a team can be good in both locations. But yeah, his masteries fully mastered. Well, all the way to War Master. I believe that's what that is. Yeah, War Master. And then skills. I just told you I booked him. And then his artifacts pretty much maxed out there. And then I was using 2 legendaries. Let's see here. Under Priest Brogni. There he is. Under Priest Brogni. And you can see that I have only put in 4 books in him. I was so lucky when I was booking him. It took 2, and then I needed Resilient Glow to come down as fast as it possibly could. And you can take this down by 1 more on the Cavern Scraps, which would probably make it even more amazing. But at the same time, that just saves me books. I mean, I finished this up and this one. So you can see I used 4 books instead of 5, 10, 11, 12. So it only cost me 4 out of 12 books to get what I needed on the Resilient Glow. And then, of course, I'm using Vizier. And Vizier, fully mastered to a Giant Slayer, and that's why there's 2 here, because I had to move over for it. And then here, I believe he's fully booked, so I did spend the books on him. And then, of course, he's in Top Gear, and he's also in my regular clan boss team, not my ultimate Ultra Nightmare team. Well, anyways, so that's the champions and their builds, and then I'll show you what I did with the team itself, and a couple things you have to do to make this work. So number one, Vergis, the only thing he does is his A1. You don't want him to put on the increased speed, the reflect damage, or the continuous heal buff. You don't want him to put on the ally protection to increase defense, because his defense is so high, then it makes him not the primary target. Vizier, he starts off the match, with 2 turns. So then you make him use his Accursed Blades on the first round, and then the second round he does his poisons. You do this for 2 reasons. One, he'll never lose Perfect Veil. And then 2, because my speeds are set, Geomancer, I need him. He goes before based on his speed of 173, and Vizier is 187. So Vizier goes first, and I could probably move that around. It probably wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's just the way I like it. And then because they're built for other locations. And then right here, I had to actually, this creeping petrify wasn't hitting because no enemies had buffs. So I was only going like A3, A1, and there was that chance of putting on the decreased accuracy. But you have to force the creeping petrify. You actually have to force it and make it like get out of its AI and saying, okay, if there is one. But when you put it as number 1 or 2 or 3, it'll do it when it's available, even if there isn't a champion out there that has debuffs. And then of course he can steal it, and he cools down if the target is killed by the HP burn. He's killed when he has the HP burn placed by this champion on. So that's all great, but you don't need that. Basically, I just need this to slow him down. So he's going to go first hit, second hit, third hit, fourth hit. He never does his tremor staff, so I never get a third debuff on the spider. And I had to put these in here the way I did, the first choice, second choice, third choice, to force them to use Creeping Petrify. And then, of course, under Priest Brogni, no changes. I guess I could put the Caverns Grasp, like set it up to do it. But these two, they do it constantly. He just does these two. It doesn't even really matter. But his shield, this Rebout shield, works great with Vergis, because Vergis's passive is to put a shield on himself, 10% of the max HP. So that's why his HP is so high too. So with all that being said, you can see how it's set up, and now it is 100%. There has been no reason for this to fail. So I can just hit go, and it takes about 2 minutes and 10 seconds, because when you force Geomancer to go up there and do a manual hit, a melee hit type attack, he's slow. I hate to say it, he's a dwarf, and they skilled the attacks to make him slow. But you can see I'm getting three things happening here. Vergis is getting hit, putting a shield on. Under Priest Brogni is healing and causing damage, and then Geomancer has a 30% chance to cause that 210,000 points of damage. And without Geomancer, I did try it without him. Without Geomancer, it actually went into 4 minutes, and then you had chances of failure and other things. So Geomancer's 30% chance to do an extra 210,000 points of damage is the difference of keeping this right around 2 minutes. So you see that Creeping Petrify goes up. He's never attacked yet. He's never done his A1. So I know that Vizier is just going to spread right now. And this is, if Vizier died after this next hit, it wouldn't matter. So you can see Geomancer should put an HP burn on one of the spiderlings, because I'm forcing it, and the AI knows that you shouldn't put it on the same champion unless you have the choice. And then Vizier comes in, spreads the debuffs. He can only spread the 2. Occasionally, someone could resist it, or it doesn't spread it. But with 9 out of the 10 spiders, it's just death now. And using Vergis, weak affinity, I got him to be the target and be able to handle the hits all the time. And you can see he's getting healed by Under Priest Brogni. And because Vergis, 80-20 rule, has his own personal shield on, when Under Priest Brogni does his skill, he puts on, he increases it. So you can see it's over 2 minutes and 6 seconds. So, and I'll just kind of going into it. I'll show another one, and you can see that now this is my 4th time today running it. Once I got the timing done right, and let it prove me wrong to see if it messes up. So there you go. Attacks. So I guess I have it set for her to attack with her A1 first to make sure everybody uses their skills, and then she comes back around and uses her A3. So I guess I did have to do some AI manipulation for that. But there's a spread of the debuffs. Now it's not that one's required, but this does get him down, get Skarvig down to like the 50% mark, and then she only heals back about 80 to 90%. So you can see that the Renegade is gone. So, but yeah, this should get down to approximately 50%, and then the spider will kick in, heal so much, but then she takes some potential damage. You can see she took a couple extra hits because of the fact that there was shields on everybody, the fact that Geomancer used his passive 4 times. Yeah, so you can still see no A1 from Geomancer. So there's the next attack will be from well, it happened already, but you can still see that there's no chance that the A3 or the A1 decrease accuracy clicked in there. So you can I love seeing that 200,000. There's one 200,000. There's another 200,000. There's one 200,000. And you can see that one did miss, or a couple of them did miss the HP burns. 1,000. I love seeing that second one. And sometimes it makes it past it, sometimes it doesn't. But again, the way the health worked out, Vergis has taken all the hits, other than when Renegade didn't have a shield. And I think the reason she loses her shield is because she does that 30% of damage to herself and she wipes out her own shield. So here you go. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And even if it gets down to the end, so far what I've seen is Skarvik will kill herself, but I don't think it's going to get that far. Yeah, look at that. 200,000. Right at the end there. 200,000. So, all right, that's 4 for 4. And I think because of the team setup, and then I do want to check I guess I can confirm that. I do want to check real quick if I did something with Renegade to make her A1 go first, just to make sure I wasn't wrong on that. Yeah, I make her A1 go first. So she uses her A1 first, everybody uses their abilities, and then she takes 2, she decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns, which basically will reset Resilient Glow and Cavern Grasp. It'll reset these 2. It resets Vizier from a 4-turn cooldown to a 2-turn cooldown. And then Vergis, there's nothing to set a cooldown. So, all right, well, I hope this video was helpful. And it's like I said, I want to follow this up with the other video to say that I finally did get 100% team, and it's you saw that the time was like 2:18 or 2:16. So fabulous time for Spider Stage 25. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one.